Today, I'd like to talk about adding external hard drive storage to your computer. In the old days, computer cases were plenty large enough to add stuff on the inside. You need more hard drive storage space, you just run down to the store, pick up another internal hard drive and install it, and you're good to go. Unfortunately, today's trend is toward mini cases. Rarely do they have room on the inside for you to install another hard drive. And if you could get another drive in there, you run the risk of the power supply not being designed for the extra load. If you started using computers in the last decade or so, you're probably familiar with external hard drives that look something like this. Small, compact, and with one cable that hooks up to your computer, and the computer provides power for the drive. This ranks pretty darn high on the awesome scale. However, let me introduce you to a possible alternative you may want to consider. When external drives first started coming out, they were these big clunky things. Each one had two cables coming out of it. One of them had to be hooked up to a wall outlet. The other was hooked up to a USB port in your computer. Without some careful planning, they're a pretty cumbersome device to use. Here you can see there's 4 separate drives that I've purchased throughout the years, as manufacturers managed to make bigger and bigger drives. This was my state-of-the-art 750 gigabyte drive. Imagine my excitement when they finally broke that 1 terabyte barrier. I hadn't even finished paying off my 1 terabyte drive when they came out with the 4 terabyte drive. And finally, the holy grail we'd all been waiting for, 5 terabyte drives. So now I'm a couple $1,000s poorer, and nowadays I can pick up a 5 terabyte drive for about $150. Yes, you could probably put all your files on this one drive, but in today's digital world, I don't think that's a good idea. Here's why. Have you heard of the term ransomware or zero-day threats? With all your data on one drive, it can be locked up and gone forever unless you pay a lot of money. My solution? Old tech. Install an extra shelf underneath your computer desk. Place all your old hard drives on that shelf. The drives are out of sight and not cluttering up your computer desk. Now get yourself a power strip and hook up each drive to a separate power button. All the hard work's done. Now you want to spread your files out across the different drives. Now you want to leave the hard drives turned off until you need to access the data that's on that drive. When you need the data, just turn the power switch on and wait a few seconds. The drive quickly comes online, and a window pops up on your computer saying you can access your data now. There's a couple good reasons why you might want to do this. The first I mentioned was ransomware. The only data you'll have locked up is whichever drive you had turned on at that time. The rest of your data is safe because it wasn't even online at the time. Additionally, hard drives' expected lifespans are 3 to 5 years. Any hard drive failure, you won't lose all your data at once, since your data is spread out over several hard drives. And since your hard drives are off when you're not using them, you will greatly extend the lifespan of that hard drives. Your computer will also be considerably less cluttered. Instead of searching through hundreds of thousands of files, you just turn on the file group that you want to look at. And finally, to top off this data safety program, every 6 months, buy one of these nifty portable hard drives, copy all your data over to them, put them in a shockproof, waterproof security case, and store them in an underground vault. My personal preference is keeping a 3-year supply of backup data on hand at all times. As I mentioned earlier, this hard drive can store hundreds of thousands of files. In my next video, I'll show you how I use a program called Disk Manager to actually make managing all these files on this hard drive a lot easier. Well, thanks for watching.